Okay, let's get more now on our top story. Those requests overnight from the ICC's top prosecutor to consider arrest warrants for senior Israeli and Hamas leaders. David Scheffer is the former US ambassador at large for war crimes issues. He joins us now from Washington. Ambassador Scheffer, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
What do you make of the chief prosecutor's call here?
Not a surprise. One would expect after months of investigation that there would be some end result to that. It does come a little sooner than I thought it would, but also be aware that this is simply an announcement that he is seeking arrest warrant approval from the judges of the pretrial chamber of the court. So the arrest warrants do not exist yet. It will take weeks, if not months, before the judges arrive at a decision regarding whether or not to approve any of these arrest warrants.
Based on previous cases and based on precedent at the court, how likely is it in your view that those arrest warrants will in the end be granted?
I think there's a fair likelihood of it. There is something a little unusual with this one. Typically, the prosecutor does not announce in advance of a decision by the judges that he in fact has submitted an application for arrest warrants. So, and that's in order to, make sure the individuals don't flee in the interim, but also to really not sort of set up a situation where the judges might be subject to a lot of external pressures before arriving at a decision. So that is a little puzzling to me, but I think it might be because the prosecutor is seeking to prevent further alleged crimes by both sides. And one way of doing that is to kind of bring down the stick of a prospective arrest warrant to really get the point across. Of course, it might embolden them to charge ahead now that they know that they're subject to investigation anyway.
I want to raise the allegations made by the prosecutor regarding both sides in this conflict. With regard to Israel, the prosecutor, David Scheffer, says Israel is guilty, in his view, of collective punishment against the civilian population of Gaza and of using starvation as a method of warfare. What do you think of those allegations against Israel?
Well, yeah, the prosecutor, Karim Khan, made those today as part of his arrest warrants. The primary charge that he brings is war crimes relating to starvation tactics. That's what he focuses on. He does not address the bombing campaign or other aspects of the Israeli Defense Force campaign or warfare on Gaza territory. It's primarily the issue of starvation and the impact on the civilians of starvation tactics, which is a form of collective punishment, starvation. So that's where you get that collective punishment term in. But there are no genocide charges and no bombing charges with respect to the Israeli targets of investigation.
And regarding Hamas, the prosecutor accuses Hamas of taking hostages, of murder, torture, rape and other acts of sexual violence. A pretty clear statement of allegations there against Hamas.
Right, as he sort of threw the book at Hamas and put some of the most gruesome crimes described in the Rome Statute of the ICC, he charged Hamas with committing, including the taking of hostages and the cruel treatment of civilians, even in Gaza, as a consequence of using human shields, etc. But again, no genocide charge against Hamas at this stage.
We'll see what the pretrial chamber of the court ends up deciding. Really appreciate your insights into the process this morning, David Scheffer. Thank you.
Thank you very much.